What y'all think about that James Harden KD combo over there the other night? That thing look good, don't it?
Yeah, if they don't let Kyrie, if they don't let Kyrie come back.
It ain't looking too good for him, to be honest with y'all. I'm trying to see how he'll squeeze in with that thing. I don't know. Because I think Harden a better point guard, in my opinion. If I had to let one on run the PG.
I agree. Hope he don't mess it up like he did Boston.
We hope he don't. We're live now. What's up, world? It's your boy, Coach EV, a.k.a. EV the Geeker, and welcome to another episode of the Geeker Report podcast, Talking Hoops in the SIP, the Boys Edition. Talking Hoops in the SIP, the Boys Edition. Alongside of me tonight is Kevin Cole, a.k.a. Cold Cuts. What's up, Kevin?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
T. Lonte Weber, a.k.a. T. Webb of Southern Sports Platform.
What's up, guys?
And the veteran, the legend, Lavelle Shoes Johnson.
What's going on, Pete?
Chilling. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and continue. Let me just say this about our show being brought to, and then I'm going to work on some technical issues. And go ahead. I know y'all was talking about the James Harden, Kevin Durant trade. Y'all can continue that. Tonight's show is brought to you by Eros Hydroxyl Blaster. Eros Hydroxyl Blaster is the first air purifier scientifically proven to reduce COVID-19 on surfaces. For more information, call my guy Jason at 601-454-8678. That's 601-454-8678. As you guys were talking, who got the better of the Nets deal and how that's going to play out?
Well, I know the Nets got the deal. Well, I like got a lot.
Hey, you know, one of y'all gonna have to mute while the other one talking, since y'all in the same room. One of y'all gonna have to mute it.
I'll go ahead and mute.
Right. I was saying, Houston got a lot of draft picks out of that deal. You know, if they were gonna go into rebuild mode, that's the way to do it. Get a load of draft picks. I'm just hoping New Jersey don't go through the same thing they went through about 4 years ago when they traded those draft picks to Boston. It looked like they trying it all over again, but maybe they get it right this time.
And for me, I just think, you know what I'm saying, I think the Knicks did the perfect job. You know, they tried to do it a couple of years ago with KG and Paul Pierce, but both of those guys were over the hill. So you got Kevin Durant, James Harden, and Kyrie whenever he come back. If he come back, I don't know what he plan on doing, but I think that combo was great. You know, Houston got a lot of draft picks. I mean, I think they had a chance. You know, like Harden was saying, they just weren't good enough. So they might as well just start rebuilding with the pieces that they're gonna have coming up in these next couple of draft classes. So I think the Nets did go all in, but you know what I'm saying, in order to be a championship team, look at the Lakers and what Cleveland did. I mean, at this point, you have to go all in just to try to get one quick. You know what I'm saying? And
I'm a little weary what all they gave up. I mean, LeVert and Allen, you know, two good pieces to give up. You know,
right?
They were playing well.
Right, but you know what I'm saying, to get a James Harden in, you know, neither one of them guys, both of those guys don't even compare to what James Harden can do. If you've seen, he made history scoring a 30-point triple-double. So I think on a nightly basis, I don't know how they're going to gel when Kyrie come back. Me personally, I don't even know if Kyrie going to want to come back and play with them guys, to be honest with you. But it should be interesting to see how they all gel. I'm thinking they're going to have to, like, take a quarter at a time for every person to get off. Because I think KD had 42 the other night. And, of course, James Harden had 30. So I'm trying to see what Kyrie's shots going to come in, because we're looking at guys who can score 25 to 35 a game apiece. So it's going to be interesting.
Well, I think, you know, from what we just saw the other night by Kyrie being out, those two together are really, really good. I don't know how it's going to be when Kyrie comes in, but at the same time, it's hard to make that guy happy, man. It just seems like you're always looking for a way out or complaining about something. But at the end of the day, right now with James Harden running the point, I think out of those three, KD might be the only one that don't necessarily need the ball. I mean, he's effective without the ball in his hand. So with that being said, I mean, we'll see when Kyrie gets back.
Yeah, and I think the same thing. Kind of you said, I do think KD is the only one. He doesn't need the ball, and I also don't think James Harden needs the ball either. Because even playing with like Team USA, you have all those guys who dominate the ball. So he'll just go into a more of a scoring role. He's gonna have to shoot the threes, and you know what I'm saying, kind of like he did at first when he was in OKC with KD and Westbrook. So he'll kind of go back into that form. I'm not saying he's gonna be the sixth man because of course he's not the same James Harden he was then, but I do think he can gel in and get his steal. But I do think he's the better point guard. So I really think the oddball out is Kyrie. I don't know how Kyrie can play without the ball because he's so ball dominant. But I think the other two, I think they can both manage to still get theirs. I just think Kyrie gonna probably be the oddball out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be very interesting. I think Kyrie has a lot going on in his head. I don't know exactly what it is, but he has a lot going on in his head. And I think Brooklyn, if you think about it, they were already planning on Kyrie KD. So if they got rid of Kyrie right now, it's still James Harden and KD. So they're still all in to win. So I'm not a fan personally of James Harden. I think he over dribbles, and I don't know if you can win a championship with that. But you can't take you just. And every time I say that, he comes back and does what he does: 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 14 assists, and you'd be like, yeah, he dribble a lot, but he almost he had triple doubles a lot too. And so, but I just don't know. I don't know if you win with him. And KD has to prove that he can win outside of a championship culture, because Golden State, even though they had only won one, they had gotten to the other one, and they were a Draymond Green technical away, if you want to look at it, from winning another one, in my opinion. And so he went to a culture that was a championship culture at the time. So I think it's a lot to prove. I think KD has a lot to prove here. Can he win a championship? Is he a championship guy, on his own? I think that's a big deal. And people can say what they want. LeBron has proven that he can win. Not only he won two teams in the East, two franchises, and then he won one in the West, when everybody was saying if he goes out West. And now it's a mass exodus to the East. I mean, we got to look at that now. We can't dismiss it. Y'all both on mute, Kevin. I don't know if you're trying to say something. So
yeah, I was getting ready to come in now. It's funny you just said that. It seems like LeBron is running everybody that was in the West back to the East. But what they've been saying, you got to remember something. The best season that Kyrie ever had was when he was with LeBron James, which to me is the best player to ever put on a pair of shoes outside of Jordan. And he had his career numbers with LeBron James, and he wasn't happy. Now he's in the East, and now he's playing with two other studs. So, like I said, we're going to see when he gets back from this hiatus or whatever he got going on. I think he's, dealing with COVID or something like that. So hopefully when he gets back, he's not dealing with COVID? Well, whatever he got going on, I mean, hopefully when he gets back, he's able to gel with those two players and maybe they can accomplish something in the East. But we'll see.
Yeah, for me, like you guys said, I mean, he's going to have to come back because I think in fines, he'd already paid I think he'd forfeit like $1.5 million of his salary. Me personally, I know we say he got millions of dollars, but at the same time, I mean, if you lose $1.5 million in your salary in 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying, you coming back to work. I mean, that's a drastic amount of your money that you're going to make for the year. And that's not even include what you're going to have to pay in taxes. So I know he's going to come back sooner than later. But at the same time, like you had said, his numbers were good with LeBron. I don't even know why he left Cleveland, to be honest with you, because he went to Boston. They kind of won. They did win without him. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. So he really started to paint a negative. He really started to paint a negative image of his, career, because he left a championship caliber team, which he was going to go to the finals pretty much every year with LeBron. And then you go to Boston and pretty much just they don't need you. So I don't really know what kind of story he's trying to write. I don't know if he was trying to go say he can win by himself. But like you said, KD, James Harden, and Kyrie, neither one of them are winners, without being on championship caliber teams. So James Harden, he did make it to the finals with OKC, but they were a young OKC, to their credit. Now you have 2 MVPs, and you have Kyrie, who won the championship. So KD got, 2 or 3 championships? 2 championships. Mm-hmm. James Harden only been to the finals once. Kyrie been to the finals. Well, he really played just one final because he got hurt in the first one. But it's going to be interesting to see if they can really get there and pull it off. Because in the East, I can't see, if all of them clicking, I really can't see nobody in the East stopping them, to be honest with you.
True. I feel like if all of them clicking, they're going to be a tough out in the East. They probably, hands down, the only team in the East the only 2 teams probably can maybe play with them are Milwaukee and Philly.
I forgot about Miami, though. I think Miami going to be solid.
I think they're going to be good. They'll be good. When Boston get healthy, they'll be good. But I think they're going to be a little bit too talented, over the top talented. But I just think I think we might be being a little harsh on Kyrie about this situation. Now, I know he's had I understand what you're saying about wanting to leave Cleveland and how things went in Boston. He stayed hurt in Boston more than anything. Then he just decided he wanted to leave. You know what I mean? Those are the pearls of free agency. Guys can leave. So he didn't do anything in Boston to hurt us as much as he just stayed hurt. But and this time, it's not COVID. They keep calling it personal. It looks like he's trying to do something human interest wise. I don't know. Nobody knows for sure. But let's give him a chance to get back, get over this. I think it can work with the 3 of them. I think they all got to buy in. They all got to want it to work. You can't really be anything about a me. And above all, I know that Durant knows that, because Durant has been in that situation with Golden State. It can't be about me. So the question is, can Harden and Kyrie kind of figure it out like that? But if they figure it out, man, they're going to be a really, really tough out.
Now, granted, like you said, you got two MVPs. You got, of course, KD is the best player on that team, hands down. Then to me, it's going to be James Harden, because he's an MVP. He's an MVP winner. So Kyrie is really Kyrie's the third option, if you really look at it on paper or however you want to look at it, because both of those guys, I think KD and Harden can carry a franchise if they had to, because Harden pretty much did it with Houston, and KD even carried OKC, even though he had Westbrook, he was still, clearly levels ahead of Westbrook. But I think both of those guys, well, I can't say the MVP caliber, because both of them have 1 MVP. So you got 2 MVPs and an all-star. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we can consider Kyrie a superstar, even though I think he has superstar potential. He got his own shoe and everything. But I just don't think he's ever going to reach that height of being a superstar like those 2 guys are. And that's just even like personal stuff, like what he's doing now, you know what I'm saying, off the court type of stuff as well.
And I think he's in more of he's trying to portray, and I get it, he's in this Maya Moore type feel of feel good, racial diversity, a little bit of all that going on. And so, like Shu said, I think in this case with the Nets, that's his geek, but because of his history, it's coming off as a guy that is mentally unstable. That's what it's coming off as. And so I don't know exactly, what he's trying to accomplish with this move. I really don't. And like you said, I think Kyrie's made a lot of money, but he's not, we don't see him, and y'all correct me if I'm wrong, and we'll get to the Rumble here shortly, but I think it's worthy of talking. I don't see Kyrie in the mode of a Colin Kaepernick of basketball. I don't see that. And I think that that is what, and even though he has made some nice geeks, I don't, it sounds like that's kind of what he's going for. Do you guys think he's made that inroad? Is he the Colin Kaepernick of basketball?
Go ahead.
Well, the other morning, I think Stephen A. put it best. He said he thinks Kyrie needs to retire from the game of basketball. He said it's just simple as that.
And to piggyback off that, me personally, I don't think he's a Colin Kaepernick because the NBA, unlike the NFL, I think the NBA has done, a great job of, even showcasing the movement for Black Lives Matter, even inside the bubble, So the things that they did, they put Black Lives Matter on the court. They let the players put sayings and phrases on the back of their jerseys. I just don't understand, how far is he trying to go with it, because they're doing everything that you could possibly do on TV. So I'm not really understanding what he's trying to accomplish with the whole thing at all. And I don't even think he knows at this point.
I just want to let you know, as we do normally, tonight's show, the snack of the show tonight is we are coming to you from Boston's local.
You know the show, man.
Y'all don't know nothing about Boston with the we got the sauce on the fries from Boston here tonight. So
Hey, EB, don't do us like that, because me and Lavelle was waiting on you to call us because we wanted to go eat first.
Man, I apologize.
Y'all should have hit us over.
You know what? I didn't realize we were all in town today. This would have been a perfect time. Together. But we'll be together tomorrow. And speaking of that, that will segue us into tomorrow. Let's jump into the Rumble in the South. We can go, if we like, game by game. I know one of you have it pulled up. I know Jackson Prep opens us up at 9:30. And for those of you watching, we will be at the Rumble tomorrow. We will not be live streaming. Some people have asked me that. But we will live stream and do some interviews throughout the day. So we will be interviewing different players and different things like that. If you have any questions on chat, please feel free. And we will be answering chat questions as well. But the first game, who is Jackson Prep playing?
Yazoo City.
The young
legend. The young legend. He calls himself the young Phil Jackson. On Twitter, I call him the young legend. I think he's one of the greatest. I think he's one of the best high school coaches in the country, because he finds a way. At the early age in his early 30s, he's already won 5 state championships, and he's won them at every level. You can argue he's won several at 3A and 4A, and then he won one in 6A. So
won 4 and 3A and 1 and 6A.
Yeah, he's coached 2 NBA players in Quindarius Weatherspoon and Robert Woodard. So all the college coaches and different people that are watching this, somebody should be looking at him at the next level, in my opinion. So they play tomorrow against Jackson Prep. Jackson Prep has several players that I know of. Lil Cam Brent, Coach Wayne Brent's son, is one of the main guys for Jackson Prep. Jalen Bolden is another player. And Yazoo City, to me, I don't know who they have. They're playing against the system because they just have.
He has a guard. He's guard heavy. He has a senior guard, Deion Henry, played in the All-Star game this past summer. He has a junior guard. His last name is Cole. He's going to be in the All-Star game in another month, the North-South game this year. He has a sophomore wing also, Brandon, what's Brandon's last name? Can't think of his last name right now. He's got a triplet group of wings there that are all about the same size and all can play. That kind of leads his team.
And for me, I actually had put out some polls on Instagram and in Twitter. So I've been having guys going back and forth on voting who they think gonna win those games. And I think on both of them on Twitter and Instagram, I think everybody had for that game. I think everybody got Jackson Prep winning, which I was surprised. So I think mostly everybody been picking Jackson Prep, and both probably got about 60 votes. So I think Jackson Prep were ahead on Twitter and Instagram.
Well, I don't know about them. I don't have them winning. And I love Cam. Cam is my guy. I got the young legend. I'm not gonna bet against the young legend.
Yeah, I mean, I was surprised everybody was picking Jackson Prep, to be honest, which I was like, really?
That's because Cam has been on here. There's been a lot of Twitter and Instagram activity about the prep school, the private school ball. People have been seeing them. They really haven't seen yet who on there where they know very little about them. That's probably why that happened. Jackson Prep has been kind of pumped up a little bit on, between our show and some other things going on. They've been bumped up a little bit, so people probably just more familiar with them. Because you guys who been flying under the radar, they just kind of not good.
Have they played a lot this year? Yazoo City?
I will say they should be 5-3 now.
Okay.
They won twice this week. Yeah, so they were 3-3 at this point last week, and they won twice, so they should be 5-3. They just came back off a big break because of COVID. They were like 1-3 when they took the break, but they come back with like 4 straight wins.
Now, one thing I can say, it will be the battle of slow it down ball. Tim Wise is a slow it down coach, and Carlisle, in what I've seen in the past, he's a slow it down type guy. He's gonna make you pass the ball and all like that, but it's nothing like Jackson Prep. They're gonna really, they're gonna run their offense. They're gonna execute. So it could be a game. It could get down. If Jackson Prep keeps it close, it could be a 32-30 game.
Sheesh. I guess that's why y'all get in the morning time game, huh? The opening act.
but then again, Yazoo.
Stop eating in front of me, man. I'm home.
They're coming off a big 18-point victory over 6A Murrah. So, and I know Murrah is struggling this year, but that's still 18 points is 18 points.
You said Jackson Prep beat Murrah by 18?
No, Yazoo City.
Oh, okay. That's a big win then.
At Yazoo City, but it's still
18 points. I mean, Murrah was the 6A, runners up last year. So that's a real team to beat.
Absolutely.
Who we got?
Who we have in game 2?
Second matchup.
Game 2, we got I think it was Oak Grove versus
Oak Grove and
Forest Hill.
I'm telling you this. I haven't seen Oak Grove, but I am all the way on the Forest Hill bandwagon. I'm riding shotgun. I have hitched my wagon to Forest Hill. That's gonna be a great game.
Well, I'm gonna comment out, because I'm a Southern guy and I don't want to sound biased, and I did get a chance to see Forest Hill on YouTube, and they seem like a typical Forest Hill, play hard. They got some good guard play. I know about Jamie Mitchell, but of course, again, Oak Grove, well coached, Broomfield's son, and of course, Jay Barnes. He has 2 really, really good guards. They just play within a system. They play very hard, guard oriented, not real big. And I want to say they're still undefeated. So with that being said, I think it's going to be a closer game than what we think. Because like I said, they're well coached.
Well, I'm expecting it to be a good game. Exactly. I mean, you argue. Some people would say they're the favorite to win. But
this is about 2 top 5 teams. This is about 2 top 5 teams in the state. Top 5 or 6 teams in the state here. So it should be a really, really hard knockdown, drag out battle. I don't expect anybody to blow the other one out in this game. As a matter of fact, I would be surprised if it wasn't close near the end. We didn't have a good ending to this game.
Now, granted, I'm gonna go against the grain. I'm gonna go against the grain and say somebody gonna get blowed out in that game. I don't know which way it's leaning, but on Facebook, I mean not Facebook, on Instagram and Twitter. Of course, on Instagram, I got a lot of Jackson followers, so they've been around with Forest Hill, and I think it was by a landslide. But I haven't seen Oak Grove yet this year, but I know they got Barnes and the coach's son Broomfield, so they are undefeated, and I can't count them out. I've seen Forest Hill in person. I haven't seen Oak Grove. But I want to go against the grain and say one team is going to blow the other team out. I think it's going to be one of those games. I think both coaches are going to probably throw that system out the window. And I think it's probably going to be a shootout. And whoever scored the most points, I think it's going to be a blowout tomorrow in that game.
Well, that's Forest Hill game. They're going to press and run. So they're not changing that. So if Oak Grove is not, I mean, Kevin, is Oak Grove a running team? Because they're going to get pressed the whole game.
Well, I'm gonna say this right here. Jay Barnes is a pretty good ball handler. And with that being said, like I said, Broomfield is gonna be prepared for the press. So it's just all up to Jay Barnes being able to break the press and not, turning it over too much with, give him a chance to stay in the game.
Well, see, you're talking to a press guy. I'm gonna have to respectfully disagree with you. I don't think you can prepare for pressure. Pressure busts a pipe. When you got it sounds good, and you go through it, and like you have 7 guys on the floor going against 5. That all sounds good, but when that thing hits, and you get that run, and you got the veteran over there, Vic Nelson, and Jerry Curry in Curry's ear. Shoes, I remember Shoes when I first got here, and you saw me pressing, you was like, that's you and Victor Nelson. Victor Nelson, y'all like to press. And Vic is over there and has put his imprint, helped put his imprint on Forest Hill. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Shoe?
Well, he has. I definitely feel like that he's been a big part of what's going on this year. Curry brought him in last year, and he coached the 9th team, and he's gotten more, integrated more into what they're doing and more of a part of what's going on. I definitely feel like, the offense they're running, I've been around here for years. I can see his imprint on that offense, that 5 offense they're running, as well as the pressing game. And they're looking good in it. I can't take anything away. I mean, they were the Natchez the other night, beat Natchez 20 plus almost 30. And Natchez have been playing fairly well. It looked like they were a pretty good, decent team. I was wondering, if they might be a sleeper for the Lakers or whatever. But, I've seen Oak Grove. I saw Oak Grove early. They had like a lot of teams shut down, so they just got back to playing. But Oak Grove was really talented. They got Warren Sumner, who also played, and they have one other guard that can really shoot it. I can't think of his name right now. He was playing with their team this summer. They got a bunch of guards, so, they're going to press them, but you press a team full of guards, I think they're going to be fair. They've been well. They played well the last couple of years. I think they'll be able to play against it. I mean, it's just a matter of. I think this game will come down to who can impose their will more. If Hill can turn them over, wear them down, or if he'll walk out with them. If Oak Grove can handle the pressure and just make them pay for wanting to be a pressing team, or Oak Grove will walk off with it. I just think it's wide open. I think it's going to be a really good game, and I really expect my damn drag out.
Well, the old rule of thumb is a team that press don't like to be pressed. So with that being said, I'll be looking forward to Broomfield pressing them as well.
That could be the case. They do get up in you and play pressure man, pressure ball. They're gonna pressure back. It won't be a full court zone press. They'll get up in them and play real good pressure man.
Hey, even you over there smashing that chicken.
Hey, man. Hey, listen. I'm telling you, Boston is special. I mean,
man.
Somebody's on chat said the wings look good, and I'm telling you, they taste better.
Hey, you need to tell Boston they need to hook us up with some tomorrow.
You got to go to Boston. It ain't that far, Coach.
Well, I'm looking for a place to eat, Easy. I hadn't eaten anything, man, so go ahead and get them that free press and tell them they may have a customer on his way when we get done with the show.
If anybody know what Boston's are, they ain't even caring about that. It definitely ain't that type of party. Boston is straight, you know. That's a whole nother animal. It's one of them chicken places in the hood. You know, they ain't even looking at marketing. They already got the marketing piece. They got that down pat.
Oh, they certified.
Yeah. Whether
they both do fish. They do fish and wings. They straight.
Yes, they are.
And then I think the next matchup. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I think the next matchup we was looking at was probably Hartsfield versus Florence. I think that's the next game on the schedule for tomorrow. I think that's the 12 o'clock game, 12:30.
Yeah, 12:30. 12:30.
And I think that one. I know Josh Lee, he's not gonna play. So with Josh Lee out, I think it's gonna be. I think that game will be a toss-up too. You got two guys who feel that they got snubbed from the Danny Dozen list with John Lucas and Devin Carter. I think it's gonna be a battle between those two. I know Devin been putting up some good numbers, and John, he been having a pretty good season as well. So I really think we're gonna see a good battle between two good seniors. Who's gonna come out on top? I'm not really sure, but I think whoever wins, one of those guys will have to score 30 plus to lead that team to victory.
Yeah, and I think tell me why Josh not playing.
I'm not sure. They just had messaged me and told me earlier that he wasn't going to play. So I don't know.
I did go to watch Hartsfield last night.
Yeah, real quick, let's put a pin there. Who I know it was a 4-point victory over Hillcrest. Is Devin Bates playing over at Hillcrest yet?
No, Devin Bates isn't playing yet. He's over there. He was with them, but he didn't play.
I thought he was at Provine.
Oh, he left. Back at Hillcrest.
Over the Hillcrest.
Okay, gotcha.
How did Lucas play?
In this game, I can't expect Florence to win this game. I think they don't really have anybody that's going to slow Devin down, I don't think. I expect Devin to have a big game. I don't know if John can match him point for point. John's a really good player, but he's not the guy to go out and score a 35, 40-point game. He's more of he's going to be a 20-something with some rebounds and stuff like that. Devin is loaded, so he's scoring machine right now. And Florence is playing really good. I mean, actually, I see both of them play on the last 2 days. I caught the rest Florence game Friday night, watched Hartsfield last night. So I'm giving you an opinion based on real recent viewing of the team. I think Florence is probably going to be. I expect Florence to walk with the
I would have loved to see Florence play.
Especially with them not having Josh. Yeah, right. Especially with them not having Josh. I was looking forward to Josh and Devin going head up, going against each other.
Yeah, I think if Josh was probably playing, I think the game probably would have, you know what I'm saying? I think it would have been easy to pick Hartsfield probably by at least 15 if he was playing too. But I think tomorrow with him being out, I think it's going to really be a toss-up type of game. I don't know who's going to win.
I don't know about 15, Delonte, now.
I say about 15. Even with Josh Florence is the favorite, man. Even with Josh Florence is the favorite. Hartsfield been taking some lumps. Even with Josh Florence the favorite.
Who they got besides Carter over there? I'm interested to see them play because I haven't seen them this year, so I'm ready to see them play tomorrow. Actually,
they're ready, they don't have another big name player. They got a couple of guys inside. Jalen McNair is their 6'6", 6'6" post guy. He's a big damn rebounder. Will finish around the goal. They got another guy, a bunch of spotted guys, guards, and a couple of forwards. I mean, they don't have a lot of name guys, but they got talent. They're not undefeated for no reason.
I'm gonna be definitely interested to see them because I tell you, my sleeper in 4A and I will see if they're gonna wake up come Tuesday is Lanier.
Yeah, that'll be a big.
They play Raymond on Tuesday, and so at Lanier.
Oh, you're talking about Lanier Raymond.
Right.
Well, we talking about Florida Harden. You got lost.
No. What I was trying to say is Florence is in that 4A, and so they want to get in that conversation of state championship. And so, we had Raymond and Pontotoc on, so we'll see Florence tomorrow. And I was kind of thinking ahead. We'll see.
I've been getting some mean texts from Florence's side about the fact that they're not in the higher no records than they are. They're a little upset about being in the third side, being that they're undefeated and everything. So.
Now, I think if they can win comfortably tomorrow, I think that'll be a credible win for them. You know what I'm saying? They can beat Hartsville because Hartsville, they played their fair share of good competition as well. So if they can beat Hartsville, you know what I'm saying, that'll be a good win on the record for them.
Yeah, it'll be okay. It'll be okay.
Yeah, because I agree with you. But I know what you're saying, T-Well, because Hartfield, did they beat Holmes County or they beat Lake Cormorant? Which one?
Lake Cormorant beat them by like 10, and Holmes County I think they beat Holmes County by like 15 or something like that. So, you know what I'm saying? And then it was early, so it was like, everybody teeter-totting back and forth. So I do think it'll be a solid win. With Josh out, like me, I don't like to make excuses for nobody. And I'm sure they're not going to make no excuses either. So whoever, you got to come to play. I expect Lucas and the other guys to come to play for them, and I expect Devin Carter to come to play for Florence. So it's no excuse for nobody this late in the season, it being January, heading into, we already in region play. So there's really no excuse for nobody. You just got to come and play.
And the other thing, too, is all eyes on them. So it ain't no excuse, period. If they win by 30, Marcool, we want to see.
Right.
I think it's great to come see Devin play. He's had a phenomenal year. He's had several. Right now, you can argue he's the best scorer in the state, numbers wise.
Right.
I think so you can't argue with that as far as his numbers go. But now you'll get a chance to see what they are, and then we get DC on here and say, "Hey, DC, we sorry. We saw y'all." But I think Florence, and these are the reason I brought in Lanier. Florence and Lanier are the next 2 4A teams that could sneak up and do something. And we'll see how good Lanier is, on Tuesday playing against Raymond, But anyway, getting back, who's next on the Rumble?
The next game is Meridian and Center Hill. I think that's gonna be another really good matchup.
I think Center Hill probably gonna win comfortably. I think Center Hill gonna probably win by at least by 10, 15. And that's just because I got to see Meridian, and I've seen Center Hill early in the season, but they've been pretty much landsliding some pretty good teams. So I expect them to be, like, I know we haven't been giving them a lot of credit this year, but they're still a championship caliber team. They're going to come in, they're going to be disciplined, they're going to be ready to play. So Coach Mueller going to have those guys ready to go. They know what it takes to win. So I just really think it's going to be tough for Meridian. I know they don't have the same team like they had previous years, but I just think Center Hill will have too much championship experience with those guys like Caden Laws and Zayden. You know what I'm saying? I just think those guys have too much experience at the big stage, and I think they're gonna come in tomorrow and perform pretty well.
Now I gotta pump your brakes. I gotta pump your brakes again, Talante. You do know Ronald? What is it, Ronald Norman?
The coach of that.
I mean, he's got championship pedigree now.
He went out there field all night.
Hey man, look, he just coming in on his heart right now. I mean, he's a northern guy, so of course he's gonna go with a northern team. And I know, and I'm not saying this about. I know you're not always biased, Weber, but at the same time, I know what these guys are getting ready to say, and you're right. Norman is the difference maker, man. Even though he might not have those studs this year, I did see Meridian play. He just one of them coaches that just make people just come to play, and It's gonna look like it may be easy by just looking at them, but at the end of the day, man, them dudes gonna fight, man. They gonna fight. Meridian's gonna fight.
With that being said, I'm with you, T-Web. I'm probably leaning towards Center Hill winning. All I'm just telling you, pump your brakes on the 10, 15 points going away.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, guys, y'all got to think. That's the point of the show. You know what I'm saying? I don't think every game gonna be close at all. Somebody gonna get blown out tomorrow.
Somebody gonna get blown out. You're right.
We not finna have no 2-3 point games tomorrow. So we thinking that, you know, either some people gonna get exposed, some guys who haven't had tough, you know what I'm saying, schedule so far. And tomorrow it's gonna show. You know what I'm saying? Like the people who come to play, I think it's gonna be a couple blowouts tomorrow. I'm gonna go out on the edge and say that. And as far as like,
hey, you're on the wrong side of the blowouts,
and that's just like coaching. Like I know Meridian coach, he does have championship experience. But me, I'm a firm believer your coach can't go out there and play for you. You know
That's
what I'm saying?
true.
Like
I agree with that.
You got to go out there and perform. And I know they have Poe and some other guys over there. So I know, and I seen them play. They do play hard. But at the same time, when we go down the roster, I just think the styles of play, even being on and it's something that we didn't take into perspective. They're gonna be on the college floor tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? So if you haven't really played on the college floor, that's gonna be totally different tomorrow when those guys get out there. And I think they got don't they have the movable goals at Mississippi College too?
What?
The movable goals that they bring in.
Yeah.
The background gonna be a little different. So it's not gonna be like playing in the high school gym. So if you haven't played on them type of floors before, it's gonna be totally different for a lot of those guys going in there playing too.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because the college, and that's one thing about getting to the Coliseum and stuff, that there's no background right there. Now, Mississippi College, there is a background, and it's closer than the Coliseum, but it's still, you're correct. There is going to be a difference. And you're right, somebody's going to get blown out. I just don't know. Somebody will. I just don't know. You know, it's hard to say. If you had to make me pick the blowouts, I probably might go with them first two games versus any other game. Like I think that, I just think Meridian is going to play hard. I think Center Hill, and I haven't seen Center Hill. I'm excited to see them, but based on what I kind of just projecting and knowing Caden Laws, well, Caden Laws I know is better than any kid on Meridian, in my opinion. I think he was Meridian's best player. I think Meridian has a bunch of good gutty guys. They're gutty, and I don't like to bet against gutty guys too much. But I think Center Hill does have the talent, will out-talent them, and I think the coaches are pretty equal. I think they both got two great coaches, you know, and so I think that's where I would give Center Hill the edge. You know, I just don't know if they blow them out, but the good thing about it, we'll all be able to come back and say, "Ooh, T-Web, you were right," or "Ooh," you know, we'll be able to do that. And I know Meridian is listening. Some people are really listening, so I know they're gonna be ready to go to say, "Man, we're gonna prove y'all wrong." And that's all. You know, that's what it's all about. You know,
that's what it's about.
Yeah, it's nothing personal. We don't dislike. We don't have favorites. You know, there's some teams we might like more than others. You know, some people grow on you. Like Forest Hill has just grown on me, and I've done several of their games as far as commentating, and they're so consistent. But it'll be very interesting. That's why we're talking about it. What's next on? Who's the next guy? Next game?
We're talking about potential blowouts. I tell you, the two potential blowouts are Yazoo City and Florence winning these. Those are the most potential blowouts we talked about that. I think the other two games could be really knocked down, drag out.
Who's next?
I think Starkville and Clinton next. Starkville and Clinton next after that one.
Ooh.
I think, and me personally, I think that's probably, you know what I'm saying, that's probably the biggest game of the day. As far as like talent wise, because everybody want to see, you know, Clinton's undefeated. You know, Starkville, they pretty much still the same. They have some losses, but at the same time, they lost to some high caliber teams. But like you guys, we've been talking about them the whole year. So you guys went out on a limb and said Clinton has the most talent out of anybody in the state, and you guys know what Starkville brings to the table as well. So I think that's probably the best game of the day on paper. Like I said, that one could get bad too. You know what I'm saying? Just depending on how the team show up. But I do think that's the best game of the day.
That's definitely a heavyweight fight on the card. I think that one, and I would say Callaway and Harrison Central is another one, but I would have to say Clark, Starkville, and Clinton, again, pound for pound, depth wise, Clinton 1 through 10, and you'll see this tomorrow if you hadn't already seen it. Depth wise, 1 through 10, Clinton's really good. And they have they have the star, Kamani Hamilton, and the rest of the guys are pretty equal. That's the thing. They have a bunch of equal guys, but man, they're really good guys. And then I think the X factor for Clinton, who I just heard sign with Pearl River, is Jeremiah Foster. And I thought that's a big signing. I'm surprised that Pearl River, went after him. They did a good job in identifying. I was surprised they went after an undersized, basically 5-man, who I love, but you're talking about 6'3", 6'4". That was surprising for me.
Is that the real athletic forward that they have?
Yes, it is. Darvin Ham. That's who I
right. Well, me knowing Chris Oney, he saw enough toughness in him to go ahead and go after him early. I know Oney like tough guys, so that must have been something that he saw in the kid outside of the fact that he's very athletic. So just me knowing Oney, that's probably why he went on ahead and tried to get it done early.
Yeah, he's a tough guy. Ain't no question about that. He doesn't even start for him. Nah,
Really?
No, he didn't start coming up.
He hasn't started.
Is that number 34?
Uh-huh. Well, you say he
I think this matchup is going to be one of the possibly two of the three best of the day. It's another one, knockdown, drag out. I think you go either way. It's going to come down to which team imposes their will. Starkville is used to this environment a little more than Clinton. That's the only thing that makes me a little weird to Clinton is that Starkville is a little more used to this environment than Clinton. Talkin was saying the last game, and I have to give him, I have to admit that Phillip Hughes does have more kids that are a little more, battle tested than the Meridian guys. And in this instance, I think that's kind of another similar situation. Clinton did go to Starkville and play really tough in the playoffs last year, but Starkville plays in these kind of events quite often. And Clinton hasn't been in these kind of events. And I just think, I wonder if that may be a big factor tomorrow.
And for me, like I had said, even on Instagram and Twitter, that's pretty much the only game that people were, everybody, I think it was even. Like, it's dead even. I think both of them probably got like 30 votes apiece. And I'm pretty much on the same. I don't know who's going to win that game. I can't even really pick a winner. I think it's going to be one of those ones that you probably want to get there and see, just to see who's going to win. See who can say they're the best in the sit right now for 6A.
I'm going to go ahead and go out on the limb, and so y'all, want to be soft and not pick nobody. I'm going to pick somebody for every game, and it's all good.
Hey, I've been on the fence all day, so I've been going there, but that one I just don't know. Like, I really don't know who's gonna win that one.
I'm gonna give Clinton the victory in a revenge game. I'm gonna give them a victory. It doesn't matter how many points. I'm just saying Clinton's gonna come out on top. And that's me. I just think that they're gonna, and it's gonna be. It is gonna be an upset, but it's not gonna be a huge upset. They can say what they want. Man, ain't no upset. No, until you beat the champions. It's an upset in my opinion.
Well, I'm going the other way. I'm going with the toughness. I'm going with Greg Carter, and I'm going with Starkville because I think there's a lot of more pressure on Clinton. Aren't they undefeated still?
Yeah.
Being that they're undefeated, I just think it may be time. Like you said, they're playing on a neutral floor. And like you said, Greg's been there before, and half of those kids came back. I think he had 3 starters coming back this year. So with that being said, I just think they got a little bit more experience. So I'm going to give Starkville the edge.
Well, I want you to remember something, Kevin. That whole team that had Starkville down 9 with a minute left is coming back for Clinton. So, and Robert Green, the coach, has won a state championship. He's not great. Now, granted, I believe Greg Carter, is reaching, in my opinion, what I call legendary status as a coach. in high school. But Clinton is, that's where I say the revenge factor. They have that whole team back. And I know they remember again, they should have won that game. But obviously Starkville was a team of destiny as they came back and they were down 3 times, including to Murrah, which I was a part of in the late in the state championship game, and ended up, and they beat Olive Branch, and they really should have lost that game. Olive Branch was in control for the majority of the game. And they found a way to get it done. So that's the only reason I go with Clinton, on that. The Starkville is, a phenomenal team, and it'd be very interesting to see.
And then for me, I think if Coty comes in and have a big game, because I know Eric Green, he's been pretty much consistent probably every game, like the big games, the close games, he's been scoring like 25 plus. I think if Coty can probably have like 20, 25 plus tomorrow, I definitely side with Starkville winning pretty comfortably. But if they can slow down Coty, I pretty much edge it to Clinton. So that's what really give it to you. Will Clinton still have nightmares about last year when they pretty much coughed up the lead with 1 minute and 30 seconds to go when they were up at Starkville? You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot that plays into it, because you never know what goes through a kid mind when they're playing. You know what I'm saying? Is it going to be too much pressure on them, or they're going to be like, well, we got to win. We still undefeated, like you guys said. Is it pressure on them to win that game? Starkville already lost this year, so maybe they just come in like, if we lose, or both coaches could come in and say, we don't want to show too much because we might have to match up with these guys in the playoffs again. So you never know how they're going to play it. So I think that's what's so interesting about that game, where you just don't know.
I love for my chatters, I want to say right now, live chatters, please feel free to ask some questions, comment. We'd like to hear from you. Anything you want us to talk about here tonight. Next game as we move right along.
Callaway versus Harrison.
Callaway, Harrison Central. Wow. I mean, that is, we're going to see the great Deshaun Ruffin, the consensus number 1 player in the state, along with, I think him and Kevion has the best backcourt in the state. I think that, they really are unstoppable. I think the only thing that stops them is foul trouble. And I think Callaway's front line is very much underrated right now. They have arguably one of the top 3 shot blockers in AJ Richards. He just had, anytime you're averaging about 4 or 5 blocks a game, you're doing some special things, and he can really block shots, and his timing is impeccable. Now he's a string bean. He's only weighs about 130 pounds, it looks like, but man, he finds a way to block shots. And then Dylan Redmond is, if you don't keep him off the boards, he will, tip dunk on you all night. And then the sophomore Trey Taylor can step out there and knock down the 3. I think Callaway's starting 5 is as good as anybody starting 5 in the state. Where Callaway has problem is that bench. The bench is not like it is, but their starting 5 is really, really good.
Well, of course, like I said, I see Harrison Central probably more than anybody on the coast, because the school is technically 5 minutes from my house in Gulfport, so I go to a lot of their games. Of course, Harrison Central is looking forward to this game. They know what's at stake. The biggest thing with them, I think the X factor for Harrison Central is going to be Jacoby Moore. A lot of people don't know about him as a basketball player, but Jacoby Moore is a 3-star wide receiver, probably the best wide receiver on the coast. He's committed to Mississippi State. And since he's been back playing with Harrison Central, they've only lost 1 game. And that was, of course, at the Holiday Classic at Gulfport against D'Iberville. But I think since he's been back, they probably, like I said, they might be about 8-1 or so since he's been back. So he's definitely been the X factor. I mean, he's just a typical athlete, very athletic, gets a lot of stuff around the basket, run the floor, gets dunks. But he has given them a little, toughness, because that's something that Harrison Central was lacking. Don't get me wrong, they got a big front line and they look very intimidating, but at the end of the day, Jacoby Moore has came in and gave them a lot more than what they had. So I think he's going to be the X factor. Like I said, as long as they can just keep the game close, don't make a lot of mistakes against Callaway, deal with their pressure, shoot the ball well, and everybody just plays their role, hopefully they'll be able to stay in the game.
And just coming off on Twitter and Instagram, guys, people aren't giving Harrison Central a chance at all. I think it's like 60 to like 5, you know what I'm saying, vote wise. So they're not giving him a chance at all. So like you said, I hope they can come in because they do have some talent. I hope they can come in and make it a competitive game. In that game, I don't want to say the pressure's on. It's not on Callaway because I mean they're from Jackson, so it'll probably be a pro Callaway crowd in there even for that game anyway, just because it's Jackson. And you know, Deshaun Ruffin is the biggest star in Mississippi right now. So of course I expect him to come in there. He's gonna do his thing regardless. So the thing would be, how do they stop him? If they let him get off too early, you might end up seeing him score 30, 40 points. And I know it can be intimidating to come in playing guys like that because, to be honest, nobody's on his level in Mississippi. Those are just the facts. Nobody's at his star level. Nobody's at his playing level. So it'll be interesting to see how Harrison Central come in and play. Like, I know they have Williams. He'll be a big presence down low for them. He can dribble. He can shoot. Sam Murray, I'm very interested to see him play as well because I haven't seen him yet, but I've heard good things about him. I've seen Fat Boy play in the summertime. So the Kevion Fat Boy matchup, like we was talking about with Callaway last week, I do want to see the smoke on that one. I want to see if we're going to get some matchups, maybe some ISO plays with those guys. I'm not sure how Harrison Central play, but I'm definitely looking forward for some new stars to come alive. The guys who are already known in the state, I'm sure they're going to come and perform, but I also want to find some new guys as well in those games.
Well, this is definitely the most star-studded game of the day. You know, with the Callaway backcourt, the Harrison Central front line, it's a star-studded game of the day. I expect it to be, you have to give Callaway the edge, just based on, you know, their repertoire as far as what they've accomplished, how they played, how many big games they played in. I think one key to the game is how well Callaway's front line plays along with the Harrison Central front line. If they play them fairly even, it could be a long day for Harrison Central. But if they mess around and Harrison Central dominates the front line play, Callaway guys are really good. They're young. They can be, you know, they can have some lapses. So if Harrison Central can pretty much get that front line rolling, it could really end up being an interesting ball game. They got a lot of bodies on that front line, a lot of ability on that front line. I expect their front line. I feel their front line is better than Callaway's front line, but you know, maybe not. I don't know if the gap is as wide as the product. And I feel they're a good guard, but I don't think their gap against Callaway's front line is as wide as, of course, Callaway's gap at the guard. So you know, you've got to give Callaway the edge. But, I think if Harrison Central can get some really good play on the front line, it can really be interesting. I'm not sold that Callaway's going to run off with this game, but I understand that if there's a blowout, if there's a big margin, probably leads more than what Callaway wins out a big margin than them. I'm not sold that it won't be a good game or close game. So I think Harrison Central has a shot. I think they have a shot.
And I mean, it's like you said, that's the biggest game, you know what I'm saying, star-wise. You know, you got Carlos Williams signed. He's supposed to sign with South Carolina. Then you got Ruffin. He signed with Ole Miss. Those are the two biggest stars in the senior class. So I expect both of those guys to come and perform. Like you said, they do play different positions, so I don't expect them to match up too often in that game. But if both of those guys dominate their spots, I think it should be a really good game.
And let's not make it. Let's not be foolish. Harrison Central can beat Callaway, and it can be one of those games where, let's not get it twisted, Harrison Central is a state championship contender. So let's go ahead and make that clear. That, you know, this ain't no, like, there's a reason that they playing each other. This is a potential. Well, they're not. Callaway is 5A and Harrison Central 6A, but is that correct? Harrison Central 6A, right?
Yeah,
that's right. That's correct.
Yeah, the Harrison Central definitely, you know, can beat them. But it's going to be another one of them interesting games. And really, And games like this, these are some of the ones too that you can think it's going to be close. Next thing you know, it's a 20-point game. You know,
Yeah.
and that's the thing. Whoever gets hit in the mouth and doesn't hit back, you know, that's going to be the thing right there. And if Ruffin, you know, again, you know, I know people say, man, y'all talk about Ruffin a lot. Well, Ruffin deserves to be talked about a lot. I mean, just like DeMonte Ellis used to be talked about a lot, just like Malik Newman used to be talked about a lot. He is that of this class right now. He is the class of Mississippi as far as talent. He is the guy that when you go across the country and talk, we talk about Deshaun Ruffin. He is that guy. And there are going to be other guys that come along behind him here in the near future, I believe. And we will know this summer a guy, and I know people have been talking about it, so we'll throw it out there. I believe Josh Hubbard, the sophomore, is a kid, and we will know for sure after this summer, he's a guy that Mississippi will be able to hang his hat on in that 2023 class, along with some other guys. But he's just, you know, those he comes to mind. Josh Hubbard comes to mind because he reminds me, he reminds me of Ruffin a little bit in certain ways, as far as especially their size. And at the end of the day, anytime you put 47 on a Gulfport team as a freshman, I don't care where you playing, you are showing that you can play at any level. And so, but right now, Deshaun Ruffin is that guy, and it's okay. And what guys have to understand, it's no different than in the NBA. You know, when you talk about the superstars of the NBA, you know, all those guys make a lot of money. I mean, all of them. But they recognize LeBron. They recognize KD. I mean, and it's okay. You know, somebody got to be the superstar. And for us right now, Deshaun Ruffin, you know, is that guy. And so if they can stop Deshaun Ruffin, and with him being on a bigger court, to me, that is in his favor. You can't trap him as easy as you could in one of them small cracker box gyms. He got some room to work. Go ahead, Shu. I see you ready to talk.
No. I was saying, Kevin, you think they'll try Sam on tomorrow? You know, they kind of like Sam.
I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I don't really see them matching up with Deshaun because I know their guards. I mean, Harrison Central starts a freshman at point. Fat Boy is a 2. The freshman is a little bit bigger than the 2. But with that being said, I know it's not always about size, but the key is, are they going to be able to defend him or contain him? I mean, me personally, I want to text Boo Hardy right now and tell him try zone. I mean, because I don't know if, you know, he's probably going to be able to beat them guys off the dribble now. On the other end now, you got 2 bigs under there waiting on him, so hopefully they'll, you know, when he beats one of those guards off the dribble, hopefully one of those bigs will be back there to give him some help. So who knows? All you can hope for is, like you say, to try to contain him. I know he's going to get his points, but I don't really see them having a guard to match up. He may try to box in one with somebody else. He may throw Jacoby the football player on him. He does have another kid about 6'2" that's kind of athletic, number 10. I can't think of his name right now, but he's a pretty good defender, so he may go that route. I don't really know.
Now, granted, me.
They like to try Sam on him. You know, he tends to like to try to let Sam guard people.
Absolutely.
I don't think Sam will stop him.
Me personally, I kind of agree with what Kevin said. I think you'll be foolish to try to, you know what I'm saying, pick him up full court or anything on the college court, because he's going to run circles around you and just get to the basket. So you're really going to get the bigs in trouble if you try to do that, because he's going to apply pressure to the big man and you're going to foul out pretty much. So you got Sam and Williams. You got to foul him once he gets to the basket, and he's so crafty and nifty around the basket that he's going to score it anyway. So you're looking at getting a foul and an and one on you. So me personally, I would probably try to zone. You know what I'm saying? I'm not really sure what kind of defenders they have. But if you try to pick them up full court to try to man Ruffin, you asking for, you know what I'm saying, a 40-piece that night. And that's just being real.
I just want to prepare everybody. This is going to be an exciting game. It will be one of the 2 ugliest games of the day.
I agree.
The other game will be Jackson Prep, New City, because both of them are so structured. This will be ugly because neither one of these teams are very structured.
Let me go back.
A lot of raggedy play.
Let me ask you this, Kevin, because you made an interesting point. Because how big is I want to ask you a question. How big is the Jacoby, the football player?
He's about 6'3.5", 6'4", very athletic. Got a nice build on him. Like I say, man, by him coming off the football, because he waited till he played in the Mississippi-Alabama All-Star game before he came back to start playing. But he came back probably even after 1 or 2 practices and had like 26 points his first game back. And automatically he just been that what they needed, man. Like I say, they got the skilled players and they got talent, but he brings them that toughness, man. So
let me
go by 6'3", 6'4".
That is the perfect type kid who's athletic, who can do a good job on Deshaun. Now, what I would like, what would be intriguing is to play a boxing one on Deshaun in the half court, not in the full court, but it's a different in the half court, because what happens is this. If he's in the half court and you think about it, and this is how Callaway does, Kevion has the ball majority of the time. He may kick it up ahead to Deshaun. Then if Deshaun doesn't go to work right away, he gives it up. Now, when he gives it up, I would make, if the Jacoby Moore, because he's athletic, obviously. Football players are a different breed.
That's right.
A whole different type of animal. He's a wide receiver, a.k.a. defensive back. Now, he may not be able to stay in front of Deshaun, but he may be able to deny Deshaun. That is the difference. Because now, if he's running around, now you got Callaway's offense really stagnant. And now it's the other guys. That would be intriguing to me to make it a 4-on-4 game.
Not granted.
Boo Hardy is probably going to throw the kitchen sink at Callaway. I would not be surprised, what you just said, Evie, that he tries to go with a boxing one, but I don't know what guy is he going to use? That's the question.
No,
I can see him going with a boxing one, and Jacoby Moore might be the one that he could try because he's quick, he's long, but at the same time, Deshaun is really, really fast now, so we'll see.
Guys, this is a showcase. If we got coaches watching this, please do not run no boxing one. We don't want to see that. I mean, I don't want to see that. I mean, I know you want to win, but it's not a region game. You know what I'm saying? We don't want to see nobody run no boxing one. I'm going to just keep it real with you. We don't want to see that. You take that back to region play. We don't need to see that tomorrow. We don't want to see that.
You know what?
I don't want to see it.
I like how you said that, Delonte, because, you know, as the fan and you came out, you're exactly right. But you know, that would be very interesting strategy. That would be very, very interesting strategy there.
Hey, if he gonna beat me, he got to beat me. I'm not finna run no boxing one on him. You know what I'm saying? Like, try something else. If you gonna let him score, stop everybody else.
If a coach out there play against you, if you gonna let my top player go, I love playing against you.
I mean, but you got to think they got 3 guys who can play. You know what I'm saying? Like, of course, Ruffin gonna get his anyway. If you run a boxing one, if you throw a 6'4" football player at him, Ruffin's strong and fast too. So, I mean, if anything, that guy gonna be in foul trouble. I'm gonna just keep it 100 with you guys. He's gonna be in foul trouble early if he's trying to hold him the whole game. He probably gonna have 3 fouls in the first 2 quarters.
Now, make sure this is what I'm saying, Talante, because here's a major difference. I agree with you. He cannot. It's gonna be hard for him to stop Deshaun once Deshaun catches the ball. But a lot of kids, this is something that Deshaun would have to work on, and most kids, is getting open.
Absolutely.
And one thing I don't think a lot of kids around here that I've watched do a very good job of denying the basketball. And those who do
not.
Now you have to say, if they were able to do this, because case in point, I told one of our football players who was definitely quick enough and all like that, one of our strategies against Starkville, do not let Forte Prater touch the ball at all. Make him get in his chest. Don't deny him the ball. And we told him this before. That was the strategy. And he did. He just let Forte get the ball and then guard him. We didn't want that. We don't want him touching the ball. We want your face in his chest. He can't get the ball. Frustrating. He didn't do that. So once he gets the ball, I'm in total agreement with you. Once he gets the ball, it's over.
Well, granted, like I seen Ruffin play against CB3 Shaquille Moore 2 summers ago in Augusta. I think he going to NC State. He pretty much killed him. I mean, if you deny him the ball, you know what I'm saying? I have seen Ruffin struggle with like longer defenders or whatever, but at the same time, I don't think we have any of those type of guys in Mississippi that's gonna cause him no trouble. I'm gonna just go out on the limb and say that those guys are not gonna slow him down. I haven't seen anybody do it. I've seen him, you know what I'm saying, against higher level guys. But we don't have any guys that's pretty much on his level like that around in Mississippi. So, and that's just, you know what I'm saying, if coaches watch you and get mad, that's just the truth. Unless you got a superstar defender who just like I'm not gonna even say a Pat Beverly, like a Kawhi Leonard type of guy with length like that who gonna really slow him down, it's gonna be hard to contain him the whole game.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with that. Who's our next game as we get ready to wrap?
Well, we just talking about Hubbard and MRA and Raymond is the next game.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a very interesting game. You know, you got Hubbard and Phillip Hughes, another dynamic duo. You can argue they may be the second best backcourt in the state. You know, they're right there. They're definitely a top 5 duo. There's no doubt about that backcourt in the state. You know, Josh Hubbard, we know his talent. It's at a whole nother level. He can shoot the basketball with range. He can score on all 3 levels. And as my guy Rashad Phillips said, and maybe sometimes all 4 levels because he can shoot the ball really deep. Phillip Hughes is a kid that doesn't get a lot of credit sometimes. I call him cookies and cream. He got some flair to his game, can really pass the ball. He's not afraid. He's played in this type of environment. So he's going to be fine. And then Raymond, Tony Tadlock has just continued to build on the foundation that was left by Robert Green at Raymond and taking it to a higher level. They're a championship culture type team, and Tremaine Dixon will be very interesting.
You might have to, you know, I think you might be stretching saying that those are the second best backcourt because them guys in Raymond might have something to say about that.
Well, and I was just getting ready to say Tremaine Dixon and Jabari Robinson. That's going to be that's going to be another big one. I'm going to be very interested if coach is going to have Dickerson guarding Hubbard. That's going to be very interesting. It's going to be a sophomore versus a senior, but Hubbard, although he's a sophomore, he's a really strong sophomore, and he's been playing for a very long time. I love to see, you know, I think Tremaine Dixon is up for the challenge, but I'm going to be very interested to see if you know, what he's going to do with that, because that could make a statement for him even more so, you know. And Dixon is a junior, by the way, isn't he?
Yeah, he a junior.
Okay, yeah.
And just even talking about that, like I think both of those, you know what I'm saying, MRA with Phillip Hughes and Josh Hubbard. Of course, Josh Hubbard has a lot of star power around the state in the southeastern region, just period. But like you said, you got Jabari, you know what I'm saying? Guys want to talk about Jabari. Jabari could probably drop a 40 ball tomorrow on MRA. So for both of those guys, you know, with the Raymond backcourt and the MRA backcourt, I think what makes that game intriguing is both teams are going to have to guard, you know what I'm saying? So it's not like Hubbard just going to be able to score his 25, 30 points, and he's not going to have to guard on the other end because Dixon can score and Jabari can score. So I think that's what makes that game so interesting. And you can't discount Phillip Hughes either.
Yeah, you are.
So,
hey, we lost Shoes for a second, man. I didn't mean to cut you off, Weber. Shoes just got lost, so hopefully I don't know if he can get back in or not. But.
Hey, man, you know y'all in the same room, so y'all good. Y'all could just shut the camera if y'all had to. But at the same time, I think that's what makes that game so intriguing. Josh Hubbard has been pretty much on the tear this year, though. He been putting up good numbers. If you've seen the highlight dunk from the other day, it was disgusting. So he's been playing pretty well right now. The Raymond guys have been playing pretty well. Jabari's had a couple 35, 40-point games. So with that matchup, I think it's going to be – I know Raymond runs pretty good defense. So I think it's going to be a defensive battle more so than offense. Of course, defense wins championships. So both of those guys are going to have to defend. I don't know who's going to get the most stops, but I think it's going to be a really, really good game because you got Phillip Hughes. I think both backcourts going to probably combine for like at least 40, 50 points tomorrow. So that's what's going to be interesting. And I'm not really sure what MRA got besides Phillip Hughes and Josh Hubbard, but I know Raymond has a couple of other guys who can play.
I think this is going to be a really, really good matchup. I'm really excited to jump into the game. this might be one of the deepest lineups we've had at the Rumble in a number of years. I mean, we've had some other years. I've had some really big matchups, but man, the number of high-level games we've got this year. I mean, I'm really geeked to go watch this ball all day tomorrow because this is another game. We got this matchup, this backcourt matchup. MRE, they get a lot of traction out of their. They've got a couple of guys inside that play that are really tough and hard-nosed that play around the goal, and they've got a sophomore, another sophomore, the Harrison kid that transferred over from Germantown. He's about 6'4", can shoot the ball. They play him kind of the forward, but he's really almost a natural wing. He's been giving them a lot of good production this year also. I can't think of Harrison's first name, but his last name is his first name is Harrison. Harrison, God, I can't think of the kid's name right now. But he's over there. He's been giving them a lot of really, really good production this year. So this should be a really, really good match. Another really, really good matchup. We could be entertained by high-scoring performances on both sides. We didn't get the Josh Lee, Devin Carter matchup, but we do get your boy Robinson, Josh Hubbard. So
EV, you better not say nothing, EV. I already know where you're going with that. You better not say nothing.
What are you gonna say? What you got, EV? What you got for me, EV?
You know what? I apologize. I missed it. What was I supposed to say? What did he say, Delonte?
He was talking about the Josh Hubbard, Jabbar Robinson matchup.
Just scoring wise, we could have a high level scoring match shootout between the two of them tomorrow.
Yeah, and I think Talante was want me to say this. I mean, this is what he thought I was going to say. I saw them play at Talante's camp. Is that what you was talking about, Talante?
Yeah.
Yeah, they were in buddy land. One guy, it was just like, hey, you score, I score, you score, I score, and I think that's going to be different. I'm hoping that's going to be different in high school because if I was to have something that both of those guys who scoring need to work on is their defensive effort and their defensive effort whenever they step on the court, not just for high school or not just for an AU game, just anytime, camp, pick up ball, whatever. I think you just want to have an effort like, man, I'm going to kill you, but you ain't going to kill me. And so that's going to be very interesting right there in that game. And do we have two more games?
No,
just one.
Well, Murrah, yeah, Murrah just came off a big victory. They are 2-0 in the district after starting out 0-6. And I think that it boils down to very simple. It boils down to Joe Dupree and Jamal Esco. It's a senior team. They only got, they have three. They have a big three of Joe, Esco, and Avon. And after that is a major drop-off. It's a major drop-off. I'm talking about a major drop-off. So much so that it's a drop-off, to be honest with you, that a lot of those kids that are on Murrah's team not only would not start on another top-level team, but they may not get any minutes at all if they're even on the team. And so, and that's just the facts. I mean, it's a major drop-off. But at the end of the day, I think that this is going to be a decent game. It has the matchups of have a good game. Coach Washington, JJ, in my opinion, is a very good coach. And I think he's going to have the guys ready to go. Joe, I know they were down to Madison Central the other day, and JJ lit into Joe at halftime, and Joe had 21 second half points to lead them to a big victory over Madison Central. And so Joe Dupree is the X factor, along with Esco, and Avon Johnson going to pretty much get his. Javon has been the most consistent out of all of them, even though he didn't have a good game the other night. And then with Brandon, you got Ishmael Rashid, who has you know, if you were giving out a most improved player award, he's in the running for that. He has improved a lot with Terrell Dixon. You know, Brandon got a nice squad. Brandon's a team that on any given night, if they're playing well, can beat anybody, as they proved.
I mean, we saw that. They had Starkville. They're going to have the same night.
Now, the thing is, I always come back on the Starkville thing that Talante said, and the Starkville said they were missing. Starkville was missing 2 key players, and so, but Brandon is a very, very good team, and I think they are a year away, and maybe another true point guard away from being a potential state championship contender. But they are somebody I wouldn't want to play.
Yeah, they can't beat anybody on the
Yeah. And on that game, just from you know, just looking around the landscape, I'm gonna probably have to slide with Brandon on that game, just because, you know what I'm saying, the talent, the teams that they played, the people they've lost to and how they played against them. I'm gonna have to go with them on that game by a couple of points, probably like a 5. I think it's gonna be a close. I think that's gonna be a close game. I think they're gonna probably narrow that by like a 5 to 10 point victory when they start fouling.
Okay. Well, I'm not. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and be honest, like I try to always be, and I'm gonna be biased this time. I'm gonna give Murrah. I'm gonna go with the Murrah Mustang, and a tight one, you know, in a close one, you know. But it definitely, I wouldn't be surprised either or. But I think on the big stage, I think that we're gonna see a big game from Mr. Big Joe Dupree, because he's got a lot to prove, and I think he's gonna show up tomorrow night, because it's the biggest stage of the year. Beside, you know, it's the biggest stage of the year for him so far. So I think he's gonna step up to the plate.
Hey.
Well, we've come to it, and we've come through all of the rumbles. Again, tomorrow night, tomorrow we will not be live streaming per se the games, but we will give you coverage all throughout the day, so you can tune in to the Geeky Report podcast here. We will be there live as far as doing a lot of interviews, talking with coaches and different things. We still like, first of all, I want to thank everyone who did subscribe, because as you see, we've hit 1,000 subscribers. But we would love for you to continue to subscribe, as we want to continue to grow the channel and then grow this platform for our young people. And so I had one question on the chat that we wanted to get to before we get ready to close, since it was on there. And one of the guys said, what about, and it was somebody, I forgot, Ronaldo, I can't see it now.
What did he say?
I can't see my chat is gone away. He was questioning, he said, what about basically a Memphis versus Jackson, Memphis, Tennessee City Schools versus a Jackson Public School matchup? What's your thoughts on that?
Can I comment on that first?
Yeah.
Didn't y'all do something like that close to that about 10 years ago when they had Melrose come down here? Who did they play, LaBelle?
Yeah, they had a bunch of Memphis teams come down every year, so they did do that. That was the pre-coach too. It was a rumble. They had a Coliseum that was like the year before about we play Monday. So they did do that. Something similar to that one time. You know, it'll be interesting. I don't know how long right now. You know, it would be interesting. I think they got more teams in Memphis than we got. So, you know, you just have to find but it would be interesting. I think it would be some good matchups, be interesting. Some high level ball be played.
I had to mute you, Kevin, because it was having an echo.
Okay.
That was all. That was just me. I wasn't trying to shut you up there, buddy.
Oh, I get it. I actually muted after you did. I muted myself after you did.
Yeah. Well, I think tomorrow's gonna be an interesting day of basketball. I'll be there pretty much the full day, and I know some of I know most of you will as well. I know Talante, you got to get back home, and so I don't know when you're gonna get out of there, and I don't know Coles when you're gonna get out of there, but I'm gonna be there early at 8 o'clock in the morning setting up. I'm excited about it, and I think it's gonna be a great day. I don't know if there's any more questions because my internet is seeming to have some challenges, so we can do our last geek of the day. If we have, again, like to thank our sponsor, Eros Hydroxyl Blaster, the first air purified, scientifically proven to reduce COVID-19 on surfaces. And you need more information about that, call Jason at 601-454-8678. And we can start with you, Kevin, as you give the last geek of the night for you. Then we'll go with you, Talante and Shoes, and then we will close it up.
But I would just like to say that I'm in town for the big games tomorrow, and every year I always come and I enjoy myself. I'm a really, really true basketball fan. Of course, by me being off on Mondays in the barber business, I'm not missing any money by coming up here, but I decided to come tonight so I can get in there early, and I'm, 5 minutes probably from Mississippi College, so I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, you come at 8 o'clock and help me set up.
We're gonna put you to work.
But I'm kind of like him. I've been in Jackson a lot more this year than I have been the previous 2 years since I've been back in Mississippi. But I'm definitely looking forward to it. This will be my first time catching the Rumble. I'm really excited about the lineup. Most of the time when you go to a tournament, you got those games where you want to get up and take a bathroom break or just go do something else, you know what I'm saying? But tomorrow, it's a pretty good lineup where, you kind of want to sit down and watch most of the games all the way through. So I'm excited for that. And like we said early inside of the podcast, I know we kind of been on for a long time. Coaches, please don't run no boxing ones tomorrow. We're trying to see an entertaining day. We want to see good players get off because it's not about the coaches, it's not about the team wins, it's about showcasing the players. So we definitely want those guys to be able to showcase their talent. So we're definitely looking forward to seeing some good basketball.
Hey, I'll go ahead, Shoes, and I got some chat things to go after that. Go ahead, Shoes.
All right. We haven't visited the roster game yet. But my geek for tonight is that when it comes to All-Star rosters for the All-Star games, man, it's such a hodgepodge. You never know what's gonna happen with the rosters. That comes out. Some kids don't make it because they don't get nominated. Coaches not members of the Mississippi Association of Coaches and everything. So it's you don't know if y'all actually gonna get the 24 best players in the game. There's a lot of politics that goes into the rosters put together, buddy, and just guys who get together and do things. But I'm gonna address one thing about the All-Star game. There's this one insane rule they have, one crazy rule they have that the All-Star coaches get to name a player. Outside they'll pick 10, and the two coaches will get to pick their own player, and most coaches tend to pick their own player. But coaches, all I want to say, if you ain't got a player good enough to be in the All-Star game, don't pick one. Be man enough to say you don't have a player good enough to be there, and just pick somebody else who's good enough, who should be there. You see it a lot. We see it a lot, and it's happened a number of times, and it's just one of those things that I'm gonna say something about that tonight. Coaches, if you don't have a player good enough to be there, don't put one on there just because you can. And we'll leave it at that.
Well, before I give my geeks, I want to say there's a couple chats I just saw on my phone. I looked at it. Don Juan says, EB, tell Webb to get his popcorn ready if he thinks Hartsfield's going to beat Florence by 15. Then he says, Webb, the loser buys Boston wings.
What'd he say?
If the loser buys Boston wings.
Hey, that's a deal I'll take up on there. What you say his name? Don who?
Don Juan.
Don Juan.
On here. And then the other, he says, Don Juan says, if they press Deshaun and force him into those combinations, they are dead. And then Will Gray said, why hasn't anyone just showed Clinton down? Everyone that runs with Clinton gets torched. Only one team had a plan against them that caused them some problems. So that was, was said. And then one of my guys texted me, I ain't gonna say who, Shoes. He says, hey, EV, I saw the podcast tonight. Tell Shoes to wake up. Tell that brother needs a Red Bull or something. They said, yeah, but anyway, also I want to just make a few announcements. There's going to be, we're going to have what I call a Talking Hoops in the SIP Boys and Girls Showcase on March 27th. You'll be seeing some information about it. We're going to have a seniors game. We're going to have a top 40 underclassmen game. So there's going to be 3 girls games and 3 boys games. So we're going to take the top 8th and 9th graders in the state. And then we're going to have an underclassmen game, and we're going to have a seniors game as well. So we're going to have our own showcase coming up March 27th. So just kind of be on the lookout for that. Also, I'll be doing a top middle school showcase, girls and boys, next month here in Jackson. And then my Geekers Girl Combine coming in the spring. And so, again, I've enjoyed each and every one of you here tonight. Thanks for jumping on. Please make sure you share this video, subscribe, and like, because we just want to continue to do these things for our children, our community. And so for Kevin Coles, Delonte Weber, Lavelle Shoes Johnson, I'm Coach EV, aka EV the Geeker, saying good evening, and I lay you.